All right, ladies and gentlemen, today is 12/12/22. All right, Monday. Got a couple really good weeks here to still do your job and finish strong also, so you start strong. But today, we are very fortunate, okay, straight from the vortex center of the universe, okay? All right, we have Sonya Ashford. Sonya, welcome to the show today. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you, Rick. How are you?
And just so anybody who doesn't know where that is, it's Sedona, Arizona. I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome.
All right, so tell us a little about yourself, how long you've been doing this, all this crazy stuff, please.
Okay, yeah. So I'm from here in the Verde Valley, which Sedona is, just north of Phoenix, up in the Verde Valley is where I grew up. And I originally was in the service industry. I worked with the Haunted group here in Cottonwood. They own, I think now, 7 restaurants and a hotel. So very big company here locally. I worked for them for over a decade. Part of that while I was going to NAU, and I did some work in behavioral health with children, but ultimately went back to serving. During COVID, took some time off while I was pregnant, and as our family started to think about, me going back to work and what that was going to look like, I really see myself going back into restaurants. So we kind of did some brainstorming. I also met with a local agent here and talked with her. Her name is Bailey Chavez. She's actually with Coldwell, but she's great. And it really enticed me to be able to sort of run my own business and still be serving people and interacting with people, but also providing me sort of a more flexible schedule. So went ahead and got my real estate license, and I got licensed at the end of March of this year, and then met, with some more brokers and stuff, and ultimately just really felt myself aligning with Berkshire Hathaway, and also was able to get a great mentor with Nisreen Hawley. So then I started my journey from there in April.
Awesome. Well, good for you. So that's definitely one of the reasons why Patrick thought you'd be perfect for this, is because you're brand new. You got a whole new perspective. You come from the service industry and working with children. Perfect mix to get into real estate, especially the working with children part. Some of your clients can be high maintenance. So yeah, it's exactly right. So, and what a great place to grow up there too, huh? I mean, I can only imagine that. I know when I drive into Sedona, I don't know if it's the view or what, but you definitely get that high energy feel. It's like a different feel when you're at Sedona. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a really special place for sure.
Yeah, and working with Nisreen, she's great. Are you following her social media direction, because she's pretty good?
I am. I mean, it's definitely something I continue to work on. But trying to model sort of how I structure my social media after some of the things that she does, and just keeping myself out there, staying top of mind, and reaching out to, everybody in my sphere. And trying to do that, one of the things I learned from her is, in a very genuine way. Of course, I want everybody to know that I'm a real estate agent and they can come to me if they need help. But, that I really do care about the people in my life and their families and what they're doing. And even if, that's through social media, because that's how a lot of people communicate these days. I know handwritten cards are always nice as well. But, you are kind of able to stay in contact with each other in the in-between times if you're staying current on your social media as well.
Right. No, it's so true. The social media part, but then the grassroots part. People open handwritten, you handwrite the address, you handwrite their card, and people definitely open that and look at it, and they keep it. They keep it for a long time.
Yeah.
I can remember going on listing presentations, like, a son and daughter would call me, they're in their 50s and 60s, their mother passed away or father, and in the safe, they have a handwritten card, and I could tell you can tell when it's my handwriting because it's almost illegible, right, because my handwriting's terrible. and they have one of my cards in there. I'm like, wow, people keep these for a long time, so they're really good to keep, really good to send. I mean,
yeah, that's good to know. I hope I still have, you know, some floating around out there that people are hanging on to.
Oh, you do. If you're sending them, they're keeping them. Trust me, some people are for sure. That's how they remember you. They tuck it away in their important papers.
Yeah.
Okay, so brand new and rocking and rolling. So tell us a little bit, like, okay, so you come from an industry where, you know, you work a lot of hours, right? And it's very service oriented. So your customer service skills have to be great. And then working with children and so forth, I mean, that takes a lot of patience. And then you jump into a business where you got to create your own business, right? How's that been for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's been challenging and it's been fun. You know, I can't say that the last 2 years of real estate didn't entice me from getting into the business. The way the market was super high and so many buyers, and you know, houses were flying off the shelves. And then as soon as I got my license, things started to shift really quickly. So I definitely had to just delve into training a lot and really developing my skills to just build systems so that I can kind of streamline things and just be consistent with that. It's kind of a roller coaster, but things are starting to sort of level off for me as I've been seeing that the things that we've been learning in our training, you know, dedicating your time to your lead generation and to your client care. When you stay consistent with that, it starts to kind of smooth out a little bit, and I don't have as big of ups and downs, you know, as I was experiencing in the beginning.
Yeah, and working with Patrick, I mean, those words sound familiar to me. You know, you said a lot of great words, by the way: consistency, authentic, genuine. Those are all important words. Okay, if you're going to be successful in this business long term, and you did jump in right after. But remember, I was going to say you jumped in. I mean, let's face it. From I've been doing this for 38 years. That's all I've done. I went to high school, then I went to 2 years of college. I've been in real estate ever since. So I've been doing this as a salesperson, trainer, even did building and developing. And I will tell you that April 2020 to the end of 2022 are probably the best 18, 19, 20, whatever that is, 20 months of real estate in the history of the business, as far as appreciation factor, interest rates, transaction numbers. It was an incredible time. We still have a great market right now, but it has changed. Mm-hmm. But the one thing you can't take away from real estate right now is the inventory situation is still low. So when people get over the fact that the Fed is sticking a huge stick in our spokes, I mean, they're going to talk about raising it again, 0.5, the base rate, 50 basis points tomorrow. That would be the third 50 basis points, and they've already done 4 at 0.75. That's the most in the history. Uh-huh. I mean, I think it might double any other time or more. So it's kind of crazy. So it just goes to show you how strong the economy and the real estate market are if they can take that kind of beating and still keep ticking, because they're only focused on the inflation numbers, which is kind of weird, but that's what they're focused on. So but once that levels out and so forth, and people's perception and consumer confidence comes back, there's a whole bunch of people on the sidelines. We're set up to go through another little roll here as soon as things level out and even start heading the other way. And I'm talking about interest rates mostly. So my point is, you jumped in right after a peak, but real estate's got a lot of good years in the bank right now because of all those numbers that I just mentioned. So everything you're doing, just remember this, Sonya, everything you're doing from a prospecting, filling a pipeline, real estate, I mean, prospecting is like, it has a karmic event. You will cash in on every bit of prospecting you're doing as long as you keep going. All right. So I've seen it happen. Right. You're probably feeling it already, aren't you?
Yeah. I mean, there's a client who I've been working with for it was back in the summer. I met her at an open house. She had come in as a buyer. And I mean, it's been slowly kind of feeding that relationship and helping them to work with a lender and sort of get their ducks in a row. And so now it's been nearly 6 months later, and we should actually be going under contract on something today. So
nice.
it was hard for me to see that in the beginning because I was definitely in a place where I needed to start working. And we did have a little bit of leeway, you know, with my husband's income and everything, but it was time for me to get back to work. And so it was hard to see that, you know, 6 months ago, that this is going to lead to something. And so it's given me a little bit of motivation and inspiration and knowing that, you know, I may not see the results tomorrow, but if I keep at it, you know, it's going to just get better and better.
Yeah, and you have so many perfect examples, women in your office, especially Nazreen, that, you know, if you stay consistent, and she's consistent, man, she's very consistent. I wish she would be more consistent with sending me cupcakes, but I will, you know, learn to live with that. I can't complain. Yeah. Last time I was there, she made a whole bunch of those cupcakes. I had to eat. I ate like 2 of them. I don't normally do that, but they're so good. I think I even took one with me. But you get what I mean. I mean, you have the examples all around you.
Yes. Yeah. We have a great office. So it's been so great to learn from everybody there. So.
Yeah, Patrick's done a good job and really great job in the short time he's been in there. It's really turned into it's going to continue to get better too, especially as we continue to grow. I mean, it's helpful, especially somebody newer, when you have that brand behind you and people already recognize the brand when you talk with them, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, yeah, I have completely noticed that. Some people will be like, oh, so who are you working with? And I say Berkshire Hathaway. And they are like, I mean, sometimes people, honestly, their jaw has dropped a little bit. I was like, wow, you know, and so it's really great to be able to be with this company and have, I mean, it's not even a national, but a global brand, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's very helpful. When I go through, I have my pin on when, you know, especially when I'm traveling and doing training in California, and people always comment on my Berkshire Hathaway pin all the time. The people in security, at the Verizon store, and one guy at the Verizon store said to me, "Ooh, you work for Warren Buffett. You must be good." I said, "As a matter of fact, no, I didn't say that." I said, "Thank you very much. I appreciate that." But it's amazing how well. So wear that name badge everywhere you go.
Yeah, I do. I wear it a lot. Actually, my husband made fun of me because I wore it out to breakfast one day. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be working after this. And he's like, well, so put it on afterwards. And I'm like, no, people, they got to see this. So. Good
for you. Yeah. It's like a little billboard, right? People will ask you questions, and you should be proud of what you do anyway. So I think that's awesome. I know that one of my agents I coach, his wife gives him a hard time. Every now and then she takes it off him, and he always has an extra one, like in his pocket. He takes another one out and puts it on. She goes, "Oh my God, you're crazy." So whatever you got to do to have fun with it.
Yeah.
So give us a little. Okay, so give us a little bit. So you've been doing this about 6 months now, right? 6-7 months.
Yeah, I think almost 8 months. Yeah.
Almost 8. Sorry. Yeah, I was not a math major. Sorry. So give us a little insight, like what do you do on a daily basis? What kind of training are you doing, and all that stuff, please.
Yeah, so we have lots of trainings available through our office, and the management here in Arizona as a whole have been putting together great courses. We've done 1031 exchange classes, Binzer classes, so the buyer inspection notice, seller response, how to structure that. And you only get one shot at that. So you need to make sure that it's really buttoned up tight and that you cover all your bases because you just get one chance. Then social media stuff, there's also great local lenders here that are offering really fun things on social media and really getting people to engage with you there. On a day-to-day basis, I do try to get into the office, a couple of times a week. That really just sets my mind and lets me focus on what I'm doing. Right now, and it is kind of one of my faults, I have a hard time reaching out to my sphere, just people I know in my day-to-day life, because I have a hard time asking for things. And when in the very beginning months, it felt like I was going to them for help and asking something of them. I'm starting to kind of realize that I'm able to offer them stuff. I'm able to offer value to them in the things that I do with real estate, and how quickly things change, you know, even if they just want to know where they're at in the market, where they're, you know, with their home ownership and everything like that. A lot of people don't really realize that they have resources they can go to and follow along with what's going on in our local market. So I've been trying to do that, pushing myself more to reach out to my sphere. But I've just been doing a lot of digging on the MLS. I've been trying to look at expired listings, see if there's maybe something that might have been missed when they had it on the market that I might be able to do a little bit better, and if they're still interested in selling. So I've been going a lot after expireds. For sale by owners, they don't answer for sale by owners don't answer the phone as much. I called the one people, I swear, like 5 times. And I actually had a buyer that was potentially interested in their property, but I could not get a hold of them. But I really like kind of trying to challenge myself to pick up some things that maybe aren't on the market right now, because at one point they did have interest in selling. So,
yes,
you know, see where they're at and try and get either a listing or hopefully potentially bring a buyer for them.
Yeah, you're speaking my language. Expireds, old expireds. I love to sell by owners, and don't be afraid to give the expireds that's not answering their phone a little crap. Leave them a message. Hey, hi, this is Sonya, Berkshire Hathaway. It's going to be really tough to sell this. If you don't answer your phone, please call me back.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. They'll call you. Right? So, yeah.
I think I'm kind of overcoming a bit, like, my idea of what a real estate agent needs to be. And sometimes I feel like maybe I get a little like stuffy, especially, you know, on the phone, and I want to prove myself, you know, so I think, you know, so I don't feel comfortable always necessarily being like, well, do you want to sell your house or not? So,
right.
But I think people can relate to that.
Yeah. I think, you know, it's kind of like being a chameleon. You have different personality styles, whether they're expressive, analytical, you know, amiable, or are they analytical? Are they a driver? So I think that when you figure out what they are, you just kind of present in their personality style. And sometimes being super direct is good, sometimes not, you know. But I have found with the sale by owners, if they really want to sell their home, they appreciate you acting like a salesperson, because you're really, I mean, you're qualifying for a job to sell their home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, rumor has it, and by rumor I mean Patrick Clark, your manager, that you just closed on a $1.4 million deal. Congratulations.
Yeah, I did. It was all pretty amazing. It was really cool. So, kind of along the lines of calling expireds, I was at the office and put in some criteria into the MLS to try and look for some expired listings. And one of the first listings I came across, I would not honestly try to go after it for a listing because it looked great. The pictures were great. I thought the pricing was fair, and I just didn't really understand, you know, why it didn't sell. But I had some people that I was wanting to work with. They came and looked at one of my listings in Sedona, and I showed them a couple other properties, but when I tried to raise the conversation of making it more of an agency relationship and, you know, representing them as buyers, they kind of pulled back a bit, and they're like, no, we don't, you know, we usually work with the listing agent. We have friends who are realtors. No. But if you find anything, let us know. So this listing popped up, and I just thought it was going to be great for them. And so I called the owners, and turns out the owners did have a really good relationship still with their agent. And so she got a hold of me, and we were able to set it up. And when the buyer came to the house, she's like, I've already tried to buy this house. And so she actually, in the past, earlier this year, had been in negotiations. They didn't get an executed contract yet, but they were in negotiations, and the sellers realized they couldn't sell it yet. It was too soon from when they bought it, and they were going to have to pay a bunch of taxes. So they pulled out of the negotiations. And so we were actually able to make it work, and they did seller financing, and she actually got it for $200,000 less than what she was originally going to purchase it for.
Wow, good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah, so
Yeah, you
What's that?
you sound like you're really cut out. You sound like you're really cut out for this job because you're not afraid to do the homework, do the groundwork, prepare. A lot of agents don't do that. So congratulations.
Thank you. Well, I kind of feel like I've always been able to make something out of nothing. I've just my upbringing and stuff, and we didn't always have very much, but I won't get too much into that. But I took what I had and I made it work, and I don't like being subpar. So even though I didn't have much to go from, I try to make it into something great, and I feel like that was kind of one of those situations. There was a lot of luck involved in it too. It just happened to work out that they still did want to rent. Actually, the day that I called them, the day that I called them, they were about to put it up on their property management website for a short-term rental. So, like
Wow.
I said, it was just kind of a little bit of luck and hard work. So, yeah, it was a really cool experience.
Yep, that sounds like one of the stories in The Alchemist. So you can turn what you got into something better by just having the right mindset, definitely schedule, attitude. So good stuff. I love it. Okay, so somebody just starting off in this, what would you tell them? Give them a couple of things, maybe mindset-wise, schedule-wise, that they should definitely consider if they really want to make this a really good career or job, whatever you want to.
Yeah, first off, I would say for a new agent is to definitely get a mentor. It honestly has been invaluable for me. I mean, Nazreen is always there. Sometimes we're talking past midnight when, I have a question, and, real estate, it sounds like, really fun, and you're going to go in and make a lot of money, but I mean, there is a lot at stake for the clients. These are like some of the biggest purchases that most people will be making in their life. And there's a lot of implications, and you have to know what you're doing. So being able to count on her to call, like when there's easement issues or, all sorts of things pop up, that has been really valuable to me. Second,
she even commented on my, I can't wait to hear her, because I put out on social media that I was going to be interviewing you, and she even commented, I can't wait to hear from her.
I know. She's one of my biggest cheerleaders, so.
She's great. All right, sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Oh, no, that's okay. Yeah, and then secondly, I already, spoke about it, is just consistency in what you do. You don't have to, there's so many ways to navigate real estate and to build your business. Everybody does it differently. And, if you find something that works for you, you find a few things like, I like trying to go after expireds or for sale by owners. Really put your focus into that, and then as well as I think social media is a no-brainer because that's free and it doesn't have to be perfect. That's what I think I stress out too much about, making everything I want it to be perfect. And then I get so overwhelmed that then I'll go 2 weeks and I won't post anything. Just get yourself out there. So social media is a big one. And one thing I wasn't ready for was just the amount of personal growth that has come from it. I've just learned so much about myself. I think I'm actually, honestly, the last time that you were in our office, Rick, and you were teaching this great thing and then this great training, and I got a phone call during the break, and I had an appraisal that had come in under the contract price. It just sent me into a tailspin. I had to leave the room. I was bawling, crying, and it's because of all this other stuff that comes up, and just how much I've grown from that. And I was kind of embarrassed, but it's a process.
It's okay.
So be ready for, I would say, the growth that comes out of it, because I'm definitely feeling more confident. I know that there's obviously things I still need to work on, and, really dialing in my schedule with my work and my personal life, my home life, and making that come together so that I'm not stressed out. So I know I still need to work on that. But I would say to a new agent, be ready to kind of look within yourself and grow from the struggles that you're going to face in the first year, because it's definitely an up and down roller coaster.
Mm-hmm. it kind of reveals who you are as a person. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would say that because I think it's kind of I've definitely gotten inspiration from learning and saying, you know what, I can do this. Like last year, I was already starting real estate school. I think I started this week actually in my licensing course. But if you would have told me a year and a half ago, you know, that I would be selling a $1.4 million property, I would not think that I was qualified. So, you know, it does bring out, you know, who you are and what you're capable of, and just opens up so many opportunities in other places as well. So.
Definitely. One of my affirmations for years, and you just reminded me of it, is I'm confident, competent, and natural. And when you get in a situation like that and you figure it out, okay, there's huge benefits. And then the next one, you figure it out. Yeah, I mean, you have a great mentor, you have a great manager. We have a lot of training, great brand, but ultimately, Sonya, it's up to you. And you're meeting the challenge. You're stepping up, you know, so you're doing incredibly well. Not everybody can face adversity like this. And it's work adversity, but it's still adversity. You have to be able to you're an entrepreneur. You're a solo entrepreneur. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself with this company. And it requires you with the right mindset and actions every day. And you're doing an incredible job of that. So congratulations.
Yeah, it's true because, you know, when I was serving, if I didn't show up for my shift, okay, I'd get fired. If I don't show up for what I need to do in real estate, there's not anyone there that's, you know, going to be telling me for the most part, telling me what to do. So I have to be sure that, you know, I stay headstrong and just keep working at it because you got to do it on your own kind of, you know.
You do. You got to be your own alchemist, which you are, which is great. So if you've never read that, have you read the book, The Alchemist?
I haven't. I've heard of it, but now I definitely should.
Get it.
Oh, I'm actually here with Nazreen. She says that she has it, so she'll let me read it.
Way to go, Nazreen. I knew she'd have it. You should, the way you describe things this morning, okay, it's very similar to that book, so definitely read that book.
Okay.
All right, Sonya, any final words you want to leave these wonderful people?
I would just say, I mean, I don't know how many newer agents are on here, or, you know, maybe there's just some agents who this year in the market shift has just kind of swept the rug out from under them and maybe got comfortable in the last 2 years. But I would say just, you know, it's time to dig in deep. And if you're a Berkshire Hathaway agent, take advantage of all the systems that we have available to us and just get in there and do some hard work, and it'll continue to pay off for you.
I love it. So it's great advice. Awesome. Well, Sonya, thank you very much for taking your time out today. This is awesome. I'm so glad and happy for you that it's taken off and you're doing well. It's going to continue to do that. Just by the way, look, here's what I'm going to tell you. I talk to a lot of agents, and I've been wrong a few times, but not very often, and especially in the last 10 years. I can tell when I'm talking to somebody who has it, and I can tell when someone hasn't developed it yet. You're definitely there. It's just a matter of doing it every day now, and it'll compile, and it's like the snowball will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and next thing you know, you'll be operating at the pace you want to be at. Okay, so keep rocking it. You're doing great.
Thank you so much. It's honestly so great to have the support from the company, from my other agents, my manager, all the way up to, you know, the corporate, and it's just awesome to be recognized, and that's what helps keep me going. I like to be affirmed, so thank you so much for feeding into that a little bit.
No problem. No, you're great. Keep it rock. I wish we had a whole bunch of agents that came out of the gate like you did. Here's the thing. Everybody can, but not everybody will. So, it's that little shift. It's that little mindset that you have to either, some people are born with it and they're lucky. I was not. I had to develop it over time. But, you have it, and you can just tell in the way you're conversing that you have it. So keep rocking it. And you have a couple great examples there between Nazreen, Patrick, the whole crew over there. So keep it rocking. We really appreciate you taking your time out this morning. All right? Go get it.
All right, we will. Thank you so much, Rick.
And happy holidays to you. Thank you.
You as well.
All right. right. Bye-bye. Bye, everybody.